For most of my adult life, I've suffered from the affliction of FOMO, fear of missing out. My next door neighbour called me Butterfly because I'd flit round from panel discussion to gig to drinks night. The other great joke was that instead of going to one party of an evening, that I'd go to half of every party I was invited to, calling into each one for a few hours before sashaying off to the next. Those were great years. And then I had a son. Nighttime was a write-off, but he was a relatively easygoing baby, so during the day I'd sling him onto my back and off we'd go. Saturdays had a pretty regular routine. Up at 6, because the baby is now an early waking 2-year-old. So lots of coffee for me, breakfast, and off to the local 5-kilometre park run with the buggy. Then to the play park, a stop at the local bakery for iced fingers and pancakes, and then usually a meet-up with friends. There'd be lunch, a nap for him, laundry for me, and then a play date with his cousins or toddler friends in the afternoon, with a stop to the butcher's somewhere in between. The day was usually happy, apart from tantrums and jam-packed. There might be time for a few books before bed and a quick snuggle. And then there was the coronavirus. The first Saturday of lockdown at 9:30, park run time, I sat in our tiny sunroom on a large green chair with him in my knee. There was, for the first time probably ever for me, nowhere to be. There was no lure of parkrun to add to my run tally, no smell of freshly made pancakes from the bakery, or warmth of time with friends. As I sat in my pyjamas, bewildered, my son climbed over me, grabbing books and pulling them over for us to read, delighted. By 10 a.m. I was twitchy, but I reheated some of my coffee and we pottered into the backyard, and I decided I may as well do some weeding, whilst he toddled around throwing stones into the flower beds. And so a new normal began. There have been loads of really difficult things about lockdown, of course, but the removal of the fear of missing out has been an important one for many of us. Without the lure of the external, we've had the opportunity to press reset and make our own fun. No banana bread and sourdough for me. Instead, I spent time sitting on the floor observing what the little one might want to do in the morning. And we started new weekend rituals, like making our own pancakes at 6:30 a.m, which is less painful than it sounds. I've realised that my fear of missing out on stuff out there was actually making me risk missing out on stuff in my own home, my family and myself. And of course I'm glad things are unlocking, but there are things that have changed for the better, which is good. Because in the words of the wonderful Annie Dillard, how we spend our days is, of course, how we spend our lives. What we do with this hour and that one is what we are doing. Have a great day.